Another Friday.
We've got an amazing guest on today, and her name is Liana. Hi, Liana.
Hi.
And she is a content creator and has an amazing social account. And we've been following her for quite a bit of time and seeing all her stories. So we're really excited to touch upon some of the subjects that she's got and what we want to hit on today with you mamas. So
it's a really important one because
Yeah.
there's quite a few on your, the About Me page that I think we really want to touch on that's not been touched on before, and I think it's going to really resonate with a lot of our listeners. So,
and if not listeners, maybe their children or a family member. So yeah, it'd be really exciting. So Liana, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, like in the audience?
It's like an interview.
I know.
So I'm Liana. I'm originally from Kent, and when I had my first child, Pippa, I just started this Instagram page, and it was all about her really. I was a new parent, it's like this baby I've made, and all like showing her off. But yeah, so that's the beginning of my page. But I am also talking a lot about ADHD because I've got ADHD. I've also got 3 children. My eldest has also been diagnosed with ADHD. And yeah, I'm just a 30-year-old mum, just plodding along with life and just getting on with it, really.
Oh, it's amazing. So how old are your children?
I have got, a nearly 2-year-old. He'll be 2 next month. 2-year-old Dylan. I've got a 4-year-old Tobias, and my daughter, my eldest, is 6 years old.
6. Oh wow! So there's 2 years between them, is there?
Yeah, pretty much. It all kind of worked out even. Like, there's about 2 years between each of them. Yeah,
Amazing. So you've got the
crazy.
toddler, and then you've got the pre-toddler, and then you've got the nearly, say, 6-year-old, but I suppose they're nearly teenager at that age, aren't they? They're doing.
They definitely act to it. Yes.
So yeah, like something that we don't talk about enough, I think, is ADHD as like because I teach lots of children that do have ADHD, and a lot of women sometimes don't get diagnosed with it till a bit later. Can you talk to us a bit about it? And like I know you said before we came on the podcast that you were diagnosed at age 12. Was that right?
Yeah, I was diagnosed at 12, and I feel like it's quite common for girls to be diagnosed later, especially than boys, because girls they mask a lot easier, whereas boys will show signs a lot earlier on. So stereotypically, when you think of ADHD, the first thing that pops to your head would be like someone that's really hyper and fidgety and stuff like that. But for me and my daughter in school, it showed differently. Like we wasn't like loud, and a lot of times girls can be quite in on themselves, and it will show at home, and internally they will be crazy in their head and they won't be able to focus properly on sitting down and learning. But it just shows so much different between girls and boys.
What were the sort of symptoms or like the signs that you recognised or someone recognised to get you diagnosed?
So this gets a little bit dark, but early teens, I always struggled with my weight. I was either really big as a child or like really small. And when I was a teenager, I basically starved myself. And so I got taken to CAMS, which is, I believe, like I think it helps children with getting diagnosed with things or with problems. And I didn't actually realise at the time I was even being assessed for ADHD. I also had dyslexia, so I think they were assessing me on the fact that I was starving myself because it's an all or nothing thing. People with ADHD struggle with like what's the word? They either want everything or and if they feel out of control, they will have to cut it out. So that was me with my food.
There's actually a strong link. Between addictions and ADHD?
Yeah. So I think for us, it's the way our brain is wired. Food, for example, if we go back to food, it's like it triggers the dopamine that our brain lacks that other people will be able to get through different things.
Mm.
So a lot of times, and it's not the same for everyone, we have problems with food. Um, and when we feel like we're out of control, we tend to either cut it out or we just go in the opposite direction. There's never really a happy medium, and I suppose that's the same with any sort of addiction. So people with ADHD are prone to addiction, unfortunately.
Wow, yeah.
So it's
So,
interesting.
and then, so what was the process? So obviously, did CAMS, I mean, CAMS are amazing because I've, worked with children, I've worked with CAMS and things. They are like phenomenal in working with
Mm.
people. Like, how did they then recognise that you had it and get diagnosed?
See, I can't remember back that far. I can remember that they did the initial like they called me in, they spoke to me, and I think that's how they kind of they liaised with my school as well to see what the teachers were saying about my work and how I was doing there. They also took into account that I had already been diagnosed with dyslexia. I had the reading age of 6 or 7 at the age of 14, so I was quite clearly behind, and I feel like they took the assessment of how I've been acting, the struggles I've been having at home, and put it together. But I know for my daughter, it was a lot. I can remember a lot more of the process because that's
Yeah,
something that's
yeah,
happened in the immediate like past.
yeah,
I wasn't even aware that I was being diagnosed until I got the diagnosis. I don't think my mum really spoke about it, but I think that's because she was maybe like a not. I think back then
It was
you didn't
different.
really hear about it as much,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
she was probably like didn't really know what to do or say, so she just kind of took me to these appointments and was like, "Oh yeah, you've got ADHD," just kind of chucked me into it.
Yeah.
yeah. Because it wasn't. It. Do you know what? Even I remember when I was younger, it wasn't. No one even knew what ADHD was. I
Mm.
only really discovered ADHD when I started teaching children through the like dance schools and things. So yeah, like it never. It's only really in I would say the last 7 years. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
become a
become on.
lot more. People are aware of it a lot more, and like it's and like even like Katie Price has just been diagnosed with it only a few years ago,
Yeah.
ADHD. So it's like it can be masked, like you said, like for
Yeah.
a long time in females. And yeah, what I was going to say was, how did you know witness with your daughter? Like she's 6, isn't she? Did you say 6, your
She's
daughter?
Yeah, she's 6.
So what was the signs for you for
So
her?
with Pippa, like my biggest red flag for her was anxiety. She suffered a lot with anxiety, especially over night time. And I know by itself it's not really like a sign, but it was accompanied by as she was playing, she would be playing with one thing and she'll get really bored with that, and then she'll flip to another thing, and she'd never really fully like engage with the toy. She'll play with it and she'll be like, oh, do another thing, and she was constantly hungry as well, like she was always want to eat, even more so than what I thought would be like a normal kid wanting to snack all the time.
Yeah.
um and she would also when I see her playing with other kids, I could really see her like looking and proper almost hyper judging a situation, almost like she was trying to judge how she should be. And I think maybe that was her. Looking back now, that's probably her masking and trying to like figure out how she should act in a certain situation. So as a mum, I think it's because I was already aware of that because of
Mm.
how I used to be as a child. I
Mm.
kind of just saw it and honed in on it, and I was like, oh, something's something's happening.
I think this is going to resonate with a lot of our viewers because we hear it so often, like saying, "I think my child's possibly got ADHD." I mean, if they think their child possibly has, what would you think the first steps are in able to get them diagnosed?
So if you feel like your kid's got ADHD, first step would obviously be to contact the doctors. But what I found out recently is there's such thing as right to choose pathway, which is really good. It is private but through the NHS.
Okay.
So I what I personally did is chose my provider and told my doctor this is what I want to do. And for us, luckily, we got my daughter diagnosed within 7 months, seven,
That's
8 months.
amazing, because when I've heard
Yeah,
and I've spoken to parents, they're like the waiting list is like 2 years,
I think it's
like
longer now.
yeah.
even some like 2 to 6 years. So the advice would be to find the is it company? No, it wouldn't be. Is it a company or the centre
Yeah.
before?
So first step would always be to let your doctor know
Yeah,
because they can't let the referral go on without them knowing. So contact your doctors, and some doctors, which is crazy, still don't know about the right to choose. So if they're not aware of it, send them a link to your chosen provider. Basically, type in on Google right to choose kids ADHD assessment, and there is loads, and you just choose what you feel would work for you. So, for instance, I chose our provider because they could do it um, over like the laptop online, or you could go to their clinics. So you had a nice option. There's places that cater more for um, like autism assessments, other places cater more for ADHD. You just look up and see which one's working best for you and pick them. And they normally have a form that you can send over to your doctor for them to fill out their end. And it's that simple,
but
really.
that seems so
So
much
it's,
easier,
yeah.
because people have, this will be really helpful to people that we know.
Do you
'Cause
have to pay for it? Did you? Is it half private?
No.
Oh,
So Right to Choose is funded by the NHS, but it is private. So it's almost like, if you go and get some dental work done
yeah.
and it's through the NHS, but through a private place, it's the same sort of thing.
wow,
That's
that's
it.
amazing.
Yeah, because 7 months is really
Yeah,
quick.
that's compared
It's
to
very
like
good.
what we've heard of. Um, Going on to ADHD, like as a parent who has it, and you also see the signs in your daughter, um, is there anything like you have to change or be aware of, like in order to help the situation for you and your daughter? I suppose and also yours sounds so different umbrellas of, because we were talking before, like ADHD is such a big umbrella. You can have so many different
Mm. Like you
variants
said,
of
you're
it,
not always jittery or like can't concentrate. There's all different
all different levels.
levels of
Yeah.
it.
So how do
It's,
you like handle it? And like just want to know more,
it's
really.
hard. I'm not
Yeah,
going to lie, it is hard. And some days I do have to catch myself because people with ADHD will get really easily overstimulated. And obviously, if you've got your kids, being general kids and just creating noise and screeching and all of that, then it just, you
Yeah.
can feel yourself like it's almost like, the cartoons when you get the red going off
Yeah,
your
yeah,
body. So, as a parent with ADHD, you need to recognise when you're getting to that point and try your hardest to bring yourself out of that situation just for a minute, even if it means that you're closing the door, letting them get on with doing whatever they're doing, just so you can calm down, so you can be more present in that situation to deal with whatever situation you need to deal with. But when you've got other neurodiverse kids in the mix, that can really,
yeah, yeah.
really put a spanner in that work.
yeah.
Um,
That is,
because for Pippa, she will listen for like a she will listen to what instruction I give her, for instance, um, but give it 2 minutes and she would have forgotten what I've asked her to do. If I've asked her to calm down or like go into the other room to
I'm
regulate
so
herself, she'll
familiar.
forget. So it tends to be quite a to and from him. So just my advice is just really give yourself time and patience and be kind to yourself because it is really hard. And what might work for one person that you hear might
Yeah,
not work for you. It's all about tweaking.
yeah.
Um,
And
but
yours
yeah,
are toddler age. So do you like what do you do to like keep them, you know,
like
occupied really because of that attention span. Because even when I've worked with children with ADHD, it's a very short focus on things.
Like, what we do next? What we do?
Yeah. So is there what do you do to keep that, you know, momentum of, okay, we've got a task, we're going to just spend a little bit of time on it, but we know we can't spend too much time on it?
That, if I'm totally honest, is something that I'm still working out myself because being neurodiverse myself and having ADHD myself, I struggle with some of those things that I'm even asking my kids to do. So right now we are trying to get out of the house as much as possible. Unfortunately for us, we don't have a garden, so it means actually me having to get out and do something with them. And what I've learnt with my two eldest is they love litter picking. I know it sounds really odd, but we go out of our litter pickers and it means that they're out, they're learning about the environment. It gives them time to walk off some energy. And it also gives me like some time to calm down because they're occupied like finding like little bits of rubbish to pick up and
that's
little litter
really
pickers.
good idea because also like they're using sensory, they're like you said, it's a task and also like they're clearing the environment, and for you,
fresh air,
you're grounding yourself in that time. So but not only that, without realizing that you're doing that, they're grounding as well. And I think like we talk so much about the podcast and grounding ourselves, like
getting out in nature
and being around like even like a lot of people. Like even for me, it's quite like when I'm teaching lots of classes, I'm like come home and I'm just completely, my brain is exhausted. So like the best thing like you can do in them situations, or even going to a supermarket, is grounding yourself and like being in either in nature or just fresh air. And even we talk about
just
a lot
taking
about
yourself out of that any situation that you're in that's making you feel that way. And like also hats off to you because teaching children must be a lot sometimes.
I know.
I know. Well, that's why I need to ground myself after. I'm like, right, just gonna ground myself.
It's so rewarding though. Like even when we do the exams and you've got all different sort of personalities and types of children,
and we do work with a lot of children with ADHD
all
and
sorts.
And
is
SN.
Is it ADD? Is that one?
Autism. Autism. We've got Down syndrome. We've got so many children across the whole of the spectrum.
How, you know, the dancing is so amazing for them, and it just brings them out of their shell and they're different personalities. It's really it's quite rewarding, I think.
And it is crazy for us, like for them doing like performing arts and dancing and things like that, because we've got lots of boys, like we're quite heavily boys in our school because we do like break dance and things, which we have a lot of boys with ADHD that do breakdance because they've got no fear as well. And so that could be a good and a bad thing. But I've
got a feeling that your dance classes must do quite well with people with ADHD because they are visual learners. They're quite artsy, tend to be. I mean, not everyone's going to be. But also, I could imagine that maybe the girls with ADHD, if they get something wrong, they might actually take it a little bit more harder than other children might. I don't know if you find that because a lot of children and women, men, whatever, but a lot of especially girls with ADHD, young girls have like a fear of failing. So if they get something wrong, they'll be like beating themselves up loads in their head. I don't know if you see that in your classes or not.
Yeah, they get quite a lot of anxiety.
A lot of anxiety. But then they come out the exams, and even in the exams, I don't know what happens, but they are just phenomenal. They're like different children. They're honestly, like compared to a class atmosphere, and they're able to hold it together. And I think it really pushes them to the limits of that, even though the thought of an exam, but them actually doing it and achieving it, like, is so amazing to see.
We do kind of encourage them, don't we? Through the anxiety.
Loads of,
because it's the reward at the end of it.
Yeah, and they come out like, and we're like, you've just achieved that. And even the parents are so shocked because they're like, oh my God.
Didn't think she was going to do it.
She was going to do it, or he was going to do it. Yeah, so I think that is amazing. So, and I like another thing, like, this is to all parents out there, like if you have got children who are on the SN or ADHD, put them in performing arts, because dance is just so amazing and it does something to the brain as well. It's scientific. So so I think that is also, it's quite powerful. But I was gonna say as well, like obviously on your socials as well, you talk quite freely about dealing with some health issues yourself. Can you talk about that with us? Because in case there is any other listeners that have gone through what you've gone through, so as well as having ADHD, you've dealt with quite a lot of health issues yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. So after my second one was born, I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism, which is not to be confused with hyper. So hypothyroidism is where your thyroid doesn't produce enough of the hormone that it produces. And I'll tell you why I got diagnosed. Basically, I was so unbelievably tired, to the point where, without sounding too dramatic, I thought I could be dying. It Everything in my body just ached, like my bones ached, and I was falling asleep on the sofa for like an hour, 2 hours, and I'd wake up and my children were running around. I was like, what? Like, I look at the phone, when you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, like what have I done for 2 hours? And then that's when I was like, okay, no, I need to get something checked. And I also ballooned. Like I've always been a bigger girl, but I put on probably about 2 stone after I had him. But I wasn't doing anything. I was breastfeeding. I was eating relatively okay, like not brilliant, but I had a big swollen face. That was another sign. So I got my bloods checked, and obviously it came back the fact that I had hypothyroidism. In fact, one of my numbers was extremely high, to the point that they were mentioning about I forgot the name of it, but like a a coma. Basically, it's like a coma that can happen if your thyroid levels are too out of whack for too long. So they got me to start on medication that day, and I'll be on medication for the rest of my life to help regulate my hormones that my thyroid produces.
So
the thyroid.
do you feel a lot better now? Are you still tired? Is that all gone? All the symptoms gone?
No, I'm still quite a tired person. I know I'm a mum of three, so that can be that, and also ADHD can make you really tired mentally. Pardon?
I said that helps with the tiredness, doesn't it? 3 children and then.
I always feel
you can have, so some people, when they start the hormone replacement therapy, they start to feel fine, or they definitely start to feel better. Some people feel completely fine, completely normal, and it's worked for them amazingly. And other people aren't so lucky, and they still get some of the side effects of having their hormones out of whack. But I believe that you can change. Obviously, this is like medical advice. I'm not going, but you can speak to your doctor about teetering things or changing the brand, and different brands work for different people. So, if someone is still really, really suffering, definitely go back and see if there's anything else that they can do to help. But unfortunately for me, I'm still very tired.
So obviously you said you ballooned. Is that part of like the hormones? How does that relate to the thyroid?
So the thyroid, I believe it regulates your metabolism. So it has a lot to, your thyroid literally controls a lot of what your body does, and obviously your metabolism is one of them. And with hypothyroidism, it slows it right down, and it makes it super easy to put on weight, really hard to take off as well. Whereas if you had hyperthyroidism, it heightens your metabolism. You tend to be a little bit more jittery, and you tend to lose weight. Hypothyroidism tends to be slow, tends to create a lot of depression, and makes you just feel like a slug. And it slows everything down. Pardon?
Does it affect your immune system?
It does, yeah. It can lower your immune system quite a bit. I have a low immune system. I catch everything under the sun that the kids bring back, and it takes me about twice the amount of time to get rid of it. Um, but there is another thing that can sometimes coincides with hypothyroidism. That's something called Hashimoto's disease. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of
they do tend to go hand in hand, and unfortunately for me, my doctors don't. If you've got hypothyroidism, they don't test for Hashimoto's, so I'll have to pay private for that. But I believe not every doctor is the same. So if you're still having quite a lot of symptoms, that would be like to go with an low immune system. It might be worth checking that out as well, because that, although it's similar and it's treated pretty much the same, you can do things within your life that can help you with your Hashimoto's to help keep on top of it
it.
and not get burnout and get ill all the
So
time.
fascinating. Didn't
Yeah.
Mrs. Hinch's son or something? I don't know if he got tested for Hashimoto's or had it when he was a little bit poorly. I'm sure. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure I remember seeing something.
But it's very common.
Is it what Hashimoto's?
No,
Oh, the thyroid.
Yeah,
Because I
Yeah.
was saying to you before, when I had tonsillitis, before I was so ill for a while, and they thought my neck was swollen, so she wanted to test me for, test my thyroid, but it came back normal. But even as a child, like my nan and my mum would say, your neck looks quite swollen, like you're.
It must be just the way your body just fights any infection, just swells it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it goes straight to the throat. But with mine, another thing that I forgot to mention is that before I got diagnosed, I felt tight in my throat. Like my throat just felt tight. Like, when you're a bit sad and you've got a lump in the back of your throat, that's what I felt as well. And I also got quite a hoarse voice. That sorted itself out quite soon after taking medication, but I thought I'd mention that as well. Hoarseness, tightness of the
And
throat.
tightness. Did you say you only felt this? Was it after your child was born? Did you say
After my second,
your second? But did
didn't
you
have
not
it
have
before.
anything before that, like of
Not that I'm aware of. It all happened really soon after my son. And when they first diagnosed me, they diagnosed me with postnatal thyroiditis. And they diagnosed me that for a year until all like the pregnancy hormones, until my body kind of like went back down. Because sometimes after pregnancy, you can actually develop a thyroid problem that sorts itself out within a year. So they didn't want to jump straight into saying, oh, you've got hypothyroidism. Um, so yeah, they think that my pregnancy might have triggered it and it's just stayed. But it is also hereditary. My nan and my mum and my auntie on the same side has all got it. So I'm just the unlucky sister. I'm one of six. I'm just the unlucky one that's got it.
but
It
there
might have
must
just
have been
triggered it. It might have been laying dormant.
yeah, like and the trigger was because I think we was talking about like even pregnancy and like how your body it can also because you're growing and focusing on this baby you can also trigger lots of other stuff like in your
Yeah.
body and like for example actually 2 weeks ago I cut my foot open on a Pyrex jug I was so relaxed I put this jug in and then it smashed and cut my ankle open and
Oh no.
like I was fine. Like my husband like sealed it together. We didn't go to the hospital. I should have probably got it stitched, but I didn't because we thought it was okay. But anyway, it was all right. A week later, it actually got infected. Like my whole ankle like swelled up. But it was healing in that week. But then after a week, it started throbbing, and I was like, "What the hell?" And
Oh,
I do think when you're growing a baby, your body's so focused on growing that baby that anything else in your body that comes second.
it doesn't
Whereas
have the energy, does it? It's like,
it
oh,
doesn't have the energy to heal it as quick. So obviously, I went to
yeah,
doctors and they gave me some antibiotic cream and stuff. I really didn't want to take antibiotics, but she was like, "Please, Anna, if you get a fever, you need to take these antibiotics." So I've used the cream.
yeah.
Fortunately, it's healed, which thank God. But
Ooh.
it took a long time to heal. Like so, in
yeah, I
fact,
think
Pregnancy takes a massive toll. Like it
yeah.
takes a much bigger toll than what I think people give it credit for. It's a massive thing that's happening to your body. You're literally growing a whole human. And like for me, it's like magical. Like that's just crazy in my head. I've done it 3 times, and I'm like still. So for your, like, of course, your body's going to be under a lot more pressure
Yeah,
than what it
really.
Yeah,
triple the amount of pressure than what it would
yeah,
normally be. You'll
And
find you
then
get ill a lot during
obviously as
pregnancy. You might
well,
catch symptoms.
yeah,
you
definitely.
you're still are you were breastfeeding for a long time, weren't you? So that in itself
I was,
depletes you.
yeah. It's I loved I loved my breastfeeding journey, but it was tough. It was really tough.
I'm still doing
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, hats off to you because I did it for 4 years of my life, and I tandem fed so my son was born September, and I stopped tandem feeding in the January just before my son turned 3, 4. Um, and it was like each of my journeys were completely different, but we can get into that whenever.
it.
So yeah, it was just like, so even that, like, that's even a full-time job, breastfeeding, isn't it? Like with everything else
Well,
like going on.
you create. Oh, I could talk about it too. Antibodies. Like if Sadie gets sick and she's not really feeding much, but it's just like when I put her to bed at night, she has a little feed, or in the morning, so she doesn't always have her breakfast because she had a feed. But within a day or two, she's fine. But if my son gets sick, it's like a 2 week thing. I have to go to doctors, sometimes get antibiotics. He just goes on a real downward spiral. But um, when I was away, they did a tongue check and they were like, "You're really dehydrated," and it's all. And I said, "Well, I am breastfeeding." She said, "That's probably why. It's like it'd be good if you could take some electrolytes before you go to sleep at night, just to put some
Yeah.
goodness back in your body, because she is 4. I don't know what she's taking off me, if she's taking anything, but I'm thinking, my God, no." And my partner's like, "No wonder why you feel tired when you wake up, because through the night." I am ready to stop. I am emotionally ready to stop, but she's not, and I'm just trying to do it like when it's gradually trying to stop.
I
It's
actually don't know
hard. It is hard.
wrong. I don't know
I
how,
don't know how I have, but it's a lovely cuddle and
but
a
it
bond.
is. It's such a bond. Like you can't even explain it. I did it with my one, but I only
Yeah.
got to a year, and I was in COVID when I had her, so I had that time.
It is time
to do
consuming.
it. But I think, and you were probably the same with your 4-year-old, wasn't you? But yeah, when you're working and doing other bits, it is really hard to
It is
maintain
hard. And don't
those.
ever say just a year because a year is amazing. Like 3 weeks is amazing. Like a day, like
Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it is, although it's magical and it's lovely, I
It's hard
think
going.
there is a lot of it is
Yes.
mentally quite draining, especially the
Draining.
older they get and the
Yeah.
more
Yes.
resistant they get for when you're like, no, not right now.
Yeah.
It is, and to decide to give up is also like, it's more than just, oh, I'm ready to give up. It's like mentally, you've done this for this long, that your boob is the comfort, it
Yeah.
makes everything better. Um, it's a really hard decision to like
Did your ones
stop.
have comforters?
No, so
No.
my first was bottle fed. Um, I tried to breastfeed, and didn't work out after a big burn. Um, and she tended to go towards one of her comforters. But
Yeah.
my two boys who were breastfed didn't. I was their
Yeah.
comfort,
That's hard in
basically. So
itself, isn't it?
yeah,
And it's quite demanding on us as women, isn't it? Because not only is you trying to do everything, it's like you've got, well, the number one person is your child, isn't it, at the end of the day? So
Well,
you've got to
yeah.
put yourself second,
yeah,
haven't
and in
you?
European countries, it's normalised to breastfeed the child till they're 7. And I used to think before I had kids, I was like, "Oh, what the hell? What's that all about?"
I
But it's
was
not
yeah, I
until
was the
you
same.
have. And when I still talk to people, they're like, "You're not," and I'm like, "But it's not like I'm just sitting there over dinner, like flopping one out. It's not in the day at all. But it's just that comfort and cuddle. But I don't think until anyone's done it or experienced it, they'll never get it.
No. I
But
never thought I would even get past 6 months. I said, 6 months, I'm done. They can start like solid feeding. No, no,
I
because
said the
yeah,
same 6 months. I said the same
I
6 months,
was
and
like, I never want to do it.
yeah, but for me, actually, what happened was, well, for me, is my milk dried up, and she wasn't getting enough,
Yeah.
and she was so hungry, and I actually think it dried up because I was starting to train quite intense, like because I was obviously dancing and things. So, and I think like my body was like ready, and she really, and also when I first gave the bottle, she didn't even want the boob, she just guzzled it down.
She knew what she wanted.
She knew, and then actually she put on quite a significant amount of weight, so I don't think I was producing enough. But going back, I've got so many friends that have bottle fed from like day one, and I don't think any woman should be judged on whether they breastfeed.
It's easier. You can go out and leave the baby with a family member.
God.
And
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I know. And I do envy that sometimes, because I was like, oh God, I wish I could do that. But like, obviously it depends on everybody's journey. And
I was just lazy. I couldn't got 6 bottles. So.
I know. And also
I've done both. I've done both, and I've seen the pros and cons of both sides.
Yes.
I've done both.
Yeah.
And even for the partners thing, like, you know, I can't express. So some people can express, so they can express for a bottle for their partner or just to go out and about, but I can't. I've never been able to get anything out. But when I had my daughter and I bottle fed her, I was able to, like, I don't know, have me time or like, you know, pass her to him and to feed, and he got that bonding experience. So there's loads of pros and cons to both. Saving money, breastfeeding, because oh my gosh, formula these days.
Oh God, it's like £20 a bottle or something.
So expensive,
It's ridiculous.
Go and get it prescribed. And get it for free.
Just do you, like, do what works for you and your little one.
Spending a
No one else's business.
Oh no, it's been so amazing. Like, thank you so much for sharing like your whole journey, and
you can even see it all on your
and can you tell everybody what your Instagram, any of your socials, so they can follow you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Liana Deed and Co, and my TikTok is Liana Deed X, and just basically go over there for all things ADHD, fashion, and just I'm just your girl Liana, just talking away, living a life and stumbling along as we all do. I'm nothing special.
I love it. It's so inspiring, and it is so amazing that you've opened up to all these things that you've gone through with regards to your thyroid, your ADHD, your children, and it's so nice, like, because people can relate to it, and there's so many people out there that can relate to it. So no, thank you for like opening up to us and to our listeners. And I think it's,
did you say you were originally
from inspiring?
I'm from Gravesend. I don't live in Gravesend now, but
very close to us. We're like Kent here as well.
Yeah.
So when you said that, okay.
You can hear. I think you can take, especially Gravesend, like you can really hear when someone's from Gravesend. You can't take the Gravesend out the girl.
Yeah,
hear it.
Love it. I know you can't say we're Croydon girls, so
I hate that though.
I know
it's
not
like the
proud
Bronx.
of it.
It's like the worst place in like South London. And people go, "Where you're from?" And we're not really from Croydon, but you're near it. So
but we grew up.
You say
like we used to go clubbing there all
near
the time.
Croydon, and they're like, because you name places, no one ever knows it, and then you say Croydon. Oh, I know Croydon. Well, who doesn't?
You don't say Dartford.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's so nice to have you on, Liana, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll put your details on below the post. And
go follow Liana. She's amazing inspiration. Thank you so much, Liana. Have a nice weekend.
Bye. You too. Bye.
If you're loving the show, don't forget to download our latest episodes. It helps us a ton by boosting the show and making sure more people find us.
Plus, you can listen anytime, anywhere, even offline.
And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Spotify so you never miss a new drop.
Want even more behind the scenes content? Follow us on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok at Burnt Out Mamas, one word, for exclusive clips, updates and fun extras.
Hit that follow button, send us a message, and let's keep the Burnt Out Mamas community going.